So, good morning everyone. Thank you for signing on with me. I am going to be guiding you through a bit of breath awareness first before we really get moving, and then I'm going to guide you through a beginner's yoga flow. Just about 30 minutes, so it will be short and sweet, and we're going to be going over some of those foundational poses like downward facing dog, tabletop position, some low lunges. Oh, hi Trudy. So let's get started. Let's get on the mat. And all right, just take a comfortable seated position. And if you have a cushion or you want to pop a block underneath you, just find your seat and sit nice and tall. Relax your shoulders. Lengthen up through the spine. And just allow yourself a moment to settle. Bringing awareness to your breathing today. Just gentle inhales and exhales through your nose. And we'll begin to channel that breath into the lower belly. So even if you want to take one hand or two hands to the lower belly space so that you can just allow the breath to expand into the hands, we'll inhale. Let the belly fill the space of the palms, and as you exhale, let the belly draw back in towards your spine. Good, and just keep going a few more rounds, just breathing a little bit deeper. Let the breath expand even more. Let's take one more collective breath here. And we'll slowly blink the eyes open. Okay, we're going to start today in our tabletop position. So I want you to come with me onto your hands and onto your knees. So this is actually our foundational pose for basically any yoga pose that you're going to be on the hands. So try to remember these tips as we go forward into downward facing dog. So I want you to align your wrists about your shoulders distance. Your knees should be about your hips distance. And then really grip down through the fingertips and press down through your knuckles. Immediately start to firm those arms in towards the midline. You're going to feel the chest muscles turn on. You're going to feel, the arms and the shoulders start to activate. And then draw the belly, the ribs in. Okay, and if you're doing this properly, you should already be working pretty hard here. So just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right, we're going to go through cat-cows just to warm up your spine. So as you inhale, go ahead and arch the spine, reach the chest forward, crown of the head towards the tail. And as you exhale, tuck the chin, round to the back. Feel the shoulder blades spread. And I'll let you keep flowing through a few of those. Inhale, feel the front body really open. As you exhale, feel the back body open. Keep going. This should feel like a really good spinal wake me up. Make sure you are synchronizing with the breath. It's really the most important part. All right, inhale, slowly come back to neutral. We'll start to just shift a little bit side to side. So just get the hands acclimated to bearing some weight. Good, let's shift a little bit forward and back. Maybe touching the hips back towards the heels into child's pose. Good, and come back into tabletop position. We're going to tuck the toes under and lift up into our first downward facing dog. So So you're going to have to lengthen your stance a little bit, maybe walk the hands a tiny bit forward, maybe walk the feet a little bit back, and then reach the hips up and back into our downward dog. Okay, so immediately you can just start to kind of visualize the shape of a down, not a down dog, the down dog, but an upside down V. Okay, and remember those little cues that I gave you in your tabletop position, you want to apply that here. So still make sure your hands are about your shoulders distance, you're gripping with the fingertips, press down through the knuckles. As much as the hips are reaching up and back, think about the forearms also pressing forward. So there's a lot of opposing but also complementary forces that work together to balance you out here. Firm the arms in, draw the belly, the ribs in, and make sure, okay, that you're feeling a stretch in the back of the backs of the legs, your hamstrings. So you don't have to keep the legs straight, the heels don't have to touch down, that's not necessary. If you're a little tighter in the body, you can bend the knees, but just try to keep the spine long. Okay, so do what works for you here. Relax your neck, you can start to pedal out the feet. Good, and just take note that this is your practice, so you honor your body. You can come down and rest at any time. Okay, just keep wiggling around here, feeling into all of your foundation, the hands, the feet. Feel how the muscles are engaging to support you here. Good, let's exhale, bend the knees. Begin to walk your feet forward. Up to the hands. I'm going to be more center of my mat so I stay on camera here, but you walk towards the top of your mat. Go ahead and grab your elbows and just sway a little bit side to side. Let the upper body really release down. Once again, if your hamstrings are really tight, or maybe if you have a tighter lower back, go ahead and take a generous bend in the knees and just sway. This is one of my favorite stretches actually to start off with in the morning. Good, and let's release the arms, bend the knees, slowly roll the spine all the way up into a standing position. Stand tall, roll the shoulders back a few times. Start to feel the weight in your feet, so pressing down through all four corners of your feet. Try to spread the toes and just stand tall, heart open. All right, so we're gonna bring the feet together. And well, actually, I'll give you two options. Feet together with a little space between the heels. You can also come to about hips distance if you feel a little more stable here, okay? We're going to start to move through a sun salutation. I'll show you a nice modified version first, and if this is already in your practice, you feel free to take it as you normally do. Okay, otherwise bring the hands to your heart center. And let's inhale, reach the arms out to the sides to come up. As you exhale, forward fold. Bow forward, release the neck. Maybe take the bend in the knees like I am here. Inhale to a flat back, find length in the spine. As you exhale, let's plant the palms, step back into our first plank pose. Okay, I won't hold you here for very long, but just make sure the wrists are underneath your shoulders. You're squeezing and firming the inner thighs, drawing the belly in. Go ahead and shift forward, take your first chaturanga. You can do this slow together, shift forward. Slowly lower the knees down. Squeeze the elbows in and see if you can lower down nice and slow with control. Draw the shoulder blades down the back, all the way down to the tummy. Okay, so now we're on the belly. I want you to untuck the toes. And no, I know you might not be able to see mine here, but untuck your toes. Make sure your feet are about hips distance apart. Reach the arms back behind you. Let them float, okay? As you inhale, go ahead and just lift the chest. Draw the belly in. Feel the back body start to really work for you here. Exhale, slowly lower down. We're going to take another and let the arms float. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower down. Take one more. Press down through the tops of the feet. Inhale. And exhale, lower hands underneath the shoulders. Let's press back into that downward facing dog. So once again, find that upside down V shape and then start to really engage through the hands, through the arms, the belly, and just breathe. Maybe shake out the neck a little bit if you felt some tension building there. Maybe rock the hips a little side to side. Let's exhale, bend the knees and walk the feet forward up to your hands. Feet hips distance or feet together. Inhale, find that flat back position. Exhale, forward fold, bow the head. Inhale to rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, let's take one more round together. Hopefully we're doing well. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, bow forward. Inhale to a flat back. As you exhale, plant the palms, step back to that plank pose. So once again, your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Make sure the heels are also stacked directly over the balls of the feet. Firm your inner thighs, draw the belly, the ribs in. Okay, your choice here, modify it with me, or if you have a practice, take your full vinyasa. We're gonna shift forward, shoulders past the wrists, set the knees down for support, but keep that tummy lifted. Draw the elbows in towards the ribs. I know this is not easy, come all the way down to the tummy. Good job. Now I'm just gonna move back a little bit so I'm more on camera here. We're gonna take an upward facing dog. So take the hands a little bit underneath your shoulders here. Press down through the tops of the feet, and we're gonna lift into our first upward facing dog. So take a moment just to feel this in your body. If this is a little too deep for your back, you can always come back and take those kind of locust variations. You can take a baby cobra where your hands are a little further back, maybe next to the floating ribs. Elbows in, lift the chest. I'm just giving you a few options, okay? If you're all the way up in your upward facing dog, shoulder blades draw down the back, open up the heart. I think sometimes I like to sway a little side to side. I turn the neck. Good. Exhale, take it back. Downward facing dog. Reach those hips up. Hopefully we are building some heat now. Big breath in through the nose. Exhale, side out. Take one more inhale. And breathe out. Okay, let's exhale, bend the knees. Let's walk the feet forward, up to the hands. Inhale right into that flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, take a moment, just close your eyes. Relax your shoulders. And just observe kind of what's been going on in the body as we've been moving, your muscles. Have you been able to synchronize the movement with your breath? Take a few more moments with that focus inwards. Okay, we're going to do one more flow together. So we'll take the fingertips. I want you to tap the mat. So you're sitting back into the hips. We're coming into Utkatasana. I like to tap the mat just for depth. This should show you about how low you should be. And then as you inhale, just lift the upper body up. Okay, when you look down, you should be able to see your toes. If you look down, you're looking at your knees. You might have to move the shins back just slightly. Okay, try to lengthen through both sides of the waist. Maybe sink a little bit deeper, draw the belly, the ribs in. Slowly shift the weight into the toes. Go ahead and lift the heels so you can firm the ankles together, the inner thighs, the glutes, the low belly. Extend the legs forward, fold, release it. Inhale to a flat back. As you exhale, we're going to bend the knees and lunge back with the left leg. Okay, so that left leg softens down. The knee, I'm eating my hair here. The knee behind the hip and come up and stack the torso right over the pelvis. Okay, so take a moment here. You can leave the back toes tucked or untucked. That's totally up to you. In fact, I'm just gonna scooch forward a little bit here. Okay, take a moment to drive down through this front heel. Take the inner thighs, squeeze them in towards the midline, the belly, the ribs draw in, sweep the arms up. Take your right hand to your right hip. And we'll just reach that left arm up and over. Now, as you get into this deep side bend, try not to torque the knee side to side. Okay, let it be right over that ankle. Counterbalance here. As you exhale, left hand plants down. Let's twist the right arm open towards the sky. If you'd like a little bit more, you can tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee up. Holding in this twist, try to open across the chest. Exhale, circle the right arm all the way back. Plant the palms. If you have a vinyasa in your practice, you can take it. If you're more of a beginner, you can just go right back to downward facing dog. Okay, so your choice there. And we will all meet in downward dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let's exhale, bend the knees, walk the feet forward, up to the hands. Let's come right back into that flat back. Try to find length in the spine. Good, exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, second side, take the fingertips, tap the mat. So we're coming back into the chair pose, Utkatasana. See if this time you can sit the hips back a little bit deeper, look down, make sure that you can see your toes. You should feel the weight in the heels here. You should definitely be able to feel the lower body working. Squeeze your inner thighs, your glutes, your belly. So basically everything is really firming in towards the midline. Let's take that balance again. Shift the weight into the toes, lift your heels. Good, fix your focus forward. Really find that drishti, or that gaze. Good, extend the legs, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. As you exhale, we're gonna take the right leg back. So bend the knees, lunge the right leg back long. Soften the right knee down behind the right hip, okay? So you want to make sure that your right hip is behind the knee because you should be feeling a stretch on the front side of this right hip, okay? If we're here at maybe say 2 90-degree angles, you're probably not going to feel much in the legs. So see if you can sink a little bit deeper. Draw the low belly up and in, sweep the arms up. Good, take your left hand to your left hip, reach the right arm up and over to the left. So you should be feeling probably a stretch all the way up the front thigh, all the way up the right side body. Don't let that front knee twist side to side or move side to side. Keep it nice and solid, firm those inner thighs. Exhale, your right hand comes down. Twist the left arm, open up towards the sky. Maybe pick up that back knee. Draw the low belly in. Good, circle the left arm all the way back. Take your movement here or just step right back to your down dog. Find your breath. We're going to take 3 cycles here. Take 1 more, relax the neck. And exhale, slowly lower the knees down to the mat into child's pose. So your choice here, if you'd like to bring the feet and the knees together to support the lower back. If you want a little more opening in your hips, you can take the knees wide. And both variations, try to bring the hips back towards the heels, walk the arms out, and surrender your mind all the way down. You can rest the elbows down. Give your wrist joints a little bit of a rest. Maybe rock a little bit side to side in your child's pose. Maybe find a little bit of a sway. Okay, as you inhale, let's slowly come up out of your child's pose. Whew, good job. I am already sweating. Hope you guys are too. Okay, so let's go back to, for some of you, I know that you have done downward dog many times. Some of you maybe have never done it before. So let's just take a few moments here to break that down one more time. So I want you to come back into your tabletop so you can kind of just workshop this in your body for yourself, okay? So like I said, anytime that you are kind of having trouble finding your alignment in your down dog. Your tabletop position is a great posture to come back to. Okay, you can check that your hands are in the right place, your wrists are about your shoulders distance, your knees are your hips distance. You want to make sure that everything stays nice and parallel here. Okay, so the feet aren't kind of crossing or turning in the back. You want to draw the belly, the ribs in. Really important one that I see in a lot of people is the shoulders start to internally rotate so that you bend the elbows out to the sides of the shoulder turns in. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are squeezing the inner thighs, or sorry, the inner thighs as well, but I'm talking about the arms. So squeeze the upper arms in towards the midline. Okay, and that should really help you protect your wrists, protect your elbows. So let's take this into downward facing dog. So just walk the knees back a little bit, tuck the toes, and send the hips up. Okay, so take a moment to just see how this feels for you. Whether you need to bend the knees, maybe you need to press the hips back a little bit more because we really want to aim for a long spine. If you feel that your elbows are starting to bend out to the sides, or maybe your shoulders are starting to turn in, remember that cue to really firm the upper arms in. Relax the neck, draw the belly, the ribs in. So I know that there are quite a lot of pieces that work together here, but maybe just choose one or two and see how it feels for you today. We'll just take one more breath in and exhale, lower on down. All right, good job, you guys. Feel free to just write me your questions if you have any issue with down dog. It's a big one in yoga, and it's one of those that we often hold for a really long time as well, so it's important to kind of get that alignment into your body. Okay, let's come into a seated position, and we will take the legs directly out in front of us. Just going to stretch the hamstrings. So keep the feet about hips distance, and you're going to flex your feet. Sit up nice and tall. If some of you have, I'm just going to grab a block here. If you have a cushion or a book or maybe a block, a variation, you can also sit on top of your block, okay, and take the legs out in front of you if you feel like you're a little more grounded and supported this way. Okay, so we're going to inhale, take the arms up towards the sky, breathe in, lengthen up. As you exhale, try to lengthen the spine forward. The key thing with any forward fold is you want to draw the belly in, so you want to make sure your core is active to support your lower back. Even if that means that you can't reach the toes, you can't stretch as far, we really want to avoid this action, right? We want to avoid, we sit like this all the time anyway, okay? So you want to try to relax the shoulders down the back, radiate the heart forward, okay? Draw the belly in, breathe here. So I always like to visualize the journey of my breath. So I send the breath down the hamstrings. And if you really breathe into those areas of tension, you can actually feel with every exhale that it just becomes a little softer. Feel free to close your eyes. Let's take one more breath. And as you inhale, slowly come up. We are going down onto the back body. So you can hug your knees in towards your chest here. Rock a little bit side to side. I love to circle my knees here. It gives you a nice little spinal massage. So go ahead and circle both ways. Good, and let's set our feet down about hips distance. Okay, keep the feet parallel and making sure that your feet aren't too far away from you. You want a straight line from the knee down to the ankles. Okay, arms are down at your sides. Keep the back of the neck long. As you inhale, let's lift up into our first Setu Bandhasana. We're going to lift the hips up. Keep the palms, the fingertips, the shoulders grounded. And as you lift up, notice if your knees tend to splay out to the sides as well. You want to firm those inner thighs, engage your glutes, engage the belly. Feel the weight drive down through your heels. This is a great way to strengthen your hamstrings. Use the lower body, but also open the front body. And as you exhale, let's lower down piece by piece of the spine. And let's take one more together. Inhale, slowly lift up. Make sure you keep the back of the neck long here, so do not look side to side. If you can try your best to avoid doing that. Lift those hips up. And exhale, slowly lower. Okay, let's take our feet about as wide as the mat. You can open the arms out to the sides and just let the knees rock side to side. Like windshield wipers, you'll get a great stretch for your hip flexors, your quads. Also, it's a great way to just relieve your lower back. Okay, let's bring the feet back together. Shift the hips a little bit to your right side and let the knees rock over to the left. I like to rest my left hand on that opposite thigh and just open the right arm out to the side. If it's comfortable for your neck, you can look over that right shoulder, draw your low belly in, and just breathe. You can close your eyes. Enjoy the twist. Good. Inhale, rock the knees through center. Move your pelvis back to the center of the mat and then over to the left. Let the knees rock over to the right side. Open that left arm out to the side. Maybe look over that left shoulder. Make sure you draw the low belly in just to protect that lower back. And inhale, slowly bring the knees back to center. Let's take one more posture. We're coming into our happy baby. So I want you to bend the knees in towards your chest. Take the knees wide. Grab the outer edges of your feet. So your elbows will kind of be on the inner knee. And you reach the hand to the outer edge of the foot. Okay? See if you can lengthen your tailbone down towards the mat as much as you can. Draw the belly down. Maybe take the knees a little bit wider and you can sway side to side. You should be feeling a nice stretch along the inner seams of the legs. Good, hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself one more squeeze. And then stretch the legs all the way down to your mat. Into our final resting pose. We'll come into Shavasana. So take the legs about as wide as your mat. The arms are down at your sides, palms open to receive. Just let the arches of the feet, the toes, your hands relax. Let your shoulder blades melt into the mat. And with every breath, feel the body, the effort, just releasing and becoming softer and softer. Really commend yourself for showing up today, for you, for allowing yourself to try something new or see something new. I'll invite you to stay here for as long as it feels good for you. I really recommend a nice long Shavasana after movement, but if you're ready, okay, we'll go ahead and just stretch the arms overhead, take a full stretch. As you exhale, bend your knees. We're going to roll over onto our right side. You can just curl up like in a little fetal position here. Use that right elbow or arm as a pillow. Take a moment of gratitude, a moment to really honor your body. And then when you're ready, you can use that left hand to just prop yourself up, coming back up into a comfortable seated position, just like we started. So sit up tall and keep your eyes closed. Sit nice and tall, lengthen through the spine, relax your shoulders. And we will seal this practice together with 3 breaths. So as you inhale, reach the arms out to the sides to come up. As you exhale, touch the palms together, draw the hands down to the center of the chest. And again, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to your heart center. Let's take one more inhale. And exhale, draw everything down to your heart. Let's bring our thumbs to our third eye, or that energy center located right between the eyebrows. And we'll bring awareness to clear and conscious thoughts, a refreshing of the body, a renewing of your mind. And bow your head, namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. I know that flow was short and sweet, but hopefully we got something out of that. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to message me anytime that you have questions. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to take a look at what you're working with, answer any questions. I'm here for you guys. So thank you so much and have an awesome, awesome day. Have an awesome weekend. Bye, guys.